What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for not only one album review, but a double album review. That's right, we're doing something that's never been done right here on ARTV before. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I want to talk about two really solid records from Miss Kacey Musgraves, a country artist that I just recently got into. The first album I'm going to talk about is Same Trailer Different Park, a 2013 album, won a Grammy for Best Country Record in 2014, deservedly so. Amazing record, and we're going to get into why. And then of course we've got the brand new one that's dropping very soon called Pageant Material. Kacey, you little devil you just had to go and blow my mind in a year where this very year I said that my mind couldn't be blown by music ever again, and I think that I'm taking that statement back. Several people had recommended this record to me, including Mark over at Spectrum Pulse, some viewers, so right off I want to tackle Same Trailer Different Park first. It was 1 a.m. I was laying on my friend's apartment floor, and the first time I hit play on this thing, sitting there listening to it, and I was instantly reeled in with the incredibly unique and vulnerable opening track, Silver Linings. The best part about Kacey's music is that it is traditional in a sense, but at the same time it's not exactly the norm for modern country music. Yeah, there are still steel guitars, effect pedals out the wazoo. I mean, it is a country record, but that's not the truly captivating part about the music. The most captivating part for me is the singer herself, making me really just open my ears and hear more than just the banjos. It's an album full of raw emotion, a few warnings to the small-minded people, and a fair amount of tracks that allow Musgraves to vent her frustration through her music. It's always refreshing to see a country artist, well, yeah, I can call her artist because she actually writes the majority of her own music, because it's at that point that it becomes a lot more personable, believable even. Some of the tracks are more upbeat, with the single Blowin' Smoke serving as a gossip-laden country jam about a group of waitresses sitting around talking shit about coworkers, but not exactly meaning a lot of what they're saying, seemingly. I mean, I've been in that environment before. You're with your coworkers, you're just kind of letting off steam after a hard day, and you're not necessarily frustrated with the coworkers, it's just with the job that you're at. So I thought this was a really interesting, down-to-earth tune. Follow Your Arrow counters as a complete headshot to the close-minded individuals of the world, sounding more country than ever with the music surrounding it, but more liberal, I guess you could say, than ever with its words. Step Off follows in suit, directing all of those bringing the negativity into her life to just step off once they get done saying what they're saying, either off of their high horse or else off of a cliff. The moments that I find to be absolutely stellar come whenever the tensions are high and the instrumentals offer us a nice change of pace. Let's highlight I Miss You first, a song that features a lightly strung guitar, some incredible vocal harmonies, and an absolutely stunning chorus that's somewhat reserved but still manages to hit harder than an EDM bass drop at Coachella Music Fest. I say that because it's simple and emotive, light but explosive with the impact that it makes. The guitar tone that follows immediately after the chorus reminds me a lot of the UK group The XX, which makes me really excited to see what Kacey's gonna do in the future, because she has spoken about her third record, which could see more indie influences. Lead single Merry-Go-Round falls into future classic territory in my book, using a lot of metaphors and different names to kind of tie things down in a rather downtrodden fashion. Calling this song depressing would be selling it short, because it is damn near abysmal with the view that it provides us. Musgraves, or else the character's point of view that she's writing from, is seemingly trapped in this town full of hypocrites, people who go to church even though they might not get anything from it. They smoke, drink, buy in excess, more than you need, you name it. This town is doing it and trying to really hide it away like it's nothing. However, the song that I give all of the awards, all of the trophies to, would have to be Dandelion. Everything about this beautiful song is just flawless, from its sneaky bass line to the moody guitar and keys to the singer's incredibly powerful voice. She sounds so bitter as the rage quietly seethes out of her on this track, referring to this one that betrayed her as a dandelion, a metaphor that I never would have thought of in a million years, but it's so clever, kind of comparing all of the lies and the hurt and the promises to the little pieces of the dandelion flower that just kind of scatter in the wind, never to be seen again. Clearly, Same Trailer Different Park stirs something in me, because I can't even remember the last time that I fell in love with a record on first listen. There's a few tunes like the bluesy Stupid that feel a little too stomp clap boring for me, or the longing and dismal Back on the Map. They just don't do a ton for me, but when you've got killer tracks like the ones I just mentioned, or even the spectacular closer, It Is What It Is, you've got a winner on your hand. For me personally, same trailer, different park, gets a 4.5. There was no way that I could skip talking about that record, so I'm sorry that this video is probably going to be on the longer side of things. Musgraves followed up the Grammy award-winning record with Pageant Material, a record that stayed close to the same vein, close to the same sound that she achieved on her last record. Perhaps a little bit too close. Musgraves is from a small town in Texas, so it's only fitting that a lot of the songs sound like they're coming from a small town girl. However, I didn't feel like the vibe was being pushed down my throat last time. There's an excess amount of rural references all over Pageant Material, and while it by no means ruins this record for me, it does make me feel much more ready for that third album that she's promised with a lot more experimentation. You can hear those outside influences kind of creeping their way up slowly, but somehow as a whole, this record feels even more country than the last one. It's much safer lyrically, and as a result, unfortunately, some of these songs feel a lot less personal and more general. Lead-off single Biscuits was written at the same time as Follow Your Arrow, and it definitely shows musically. And lyrically, this track is pretty damn cheesy, but I guess you're gonna get that from time to time with this genre. But I have to say this, props to her for sounding off at Bonnaroo about country radio pretty much just pulling Biscuits from the airwaves for some reason. I guess country radio just isn't ready for a song that's not about having a good time, downing a beer on the weekend in the back of a huge fucking truck with a passenger woman in the front seat with a bikini on a dirt road. I mean, too soon? Even though I'm not head over heels for Pageant Material, it has grown on me a considerable amount. Even though the lyrics are a bit more basic, the songs are still very melodic and catchy, and that's instantly seen on High Time, the opener that features a message that I think we should all hear probably more than once. It features some light percussion and claps mixed with steel guitars and a whistle, and of course Miss Musgraves' strong, commanding voice. There's an apparent charm about this track, and I just love what she has to say. Slow it down, put the phone away, get to know yourself, get to know your friends, live your life instead of wishing it was something else. Simplicity works again on Late to the Party, a track that I was praying that I was like, please don't let this be some sort of like wannabe party track that's ready for country radio, but I should have known better because it's totally not. It's actually a really endearing spot on this record, speaking of a relationship that's patient and seems to focus on love over turning up or partying or whatever. The chorus is phenomenal on this one, really one of the highlights of the record for me, because her voice comes across smooth as silk and really just conveys this spark of love that she's feeling. Dime Store Cowgirl is another favorite for me, full of southern charm and wit, and maybe a bit more sarcasm than meets the eye. She may not always love where she's from, but it seems at the end of the day she's actually still proud of where she comes from. There isn't a ton going on in terms of the instrumental, minus the excellent bridge of this track, but it often leads to frustration on my end, not only on this track, but really on several moments on the record. It's like fighting with a dull-edged sword on the album's weakest moments that unbelievably come back to back to back with the tracks Family is Family, Good Old Boys Club, and Cup of Tea that really just seem flat and monotonous, opting to talk about very similar subjects with completely lackluster instrumentals. Family is Family is as cheesy as you can get lyrically, and hey, maybe it's just me because I'm that one soul from the South that's not really close with any of his family members other than my parents. The main understanding that I'm taking away from these tracks is, hey, I'm different, I'm not traditional, I'm not gonna conform to the norm, and you need to be okay with that. It's a note that I've already noted loud and clear from Musgraves, especially in her past material. Didn't really need to be rammed in the face with it again, so I can't help but feeling like I want to skip right on over those 3 tracks. Oh, and that whistling at the end of Cup of Tea? Yeah, that sounds horrendous. It sounds like when my friends whistle in the car and they're like trying to whistle louder than the radio itself. It's annoying as hell. On the other hand, we've got the title track, which is a ton of fun, showcasing being different in a much more clever way, taking stabs at all of these pageant queens that think they're actually helping the world just by standing up on stage, looking beautiful, and winning such a silly competition. Who's to say I'm a 9 or a 4.5 if you don't even know me, she quips on this track that I'm sure will be a fan favorite. Moving down the track listing, we find Somebody to Love, which has an eclectic range of instrumentation. The vocal harmonies here are stunning, with Musgraves really tackling the selfishness of human nature and our tendencies, and how many opt to argue and just kind of wish life away rather than take the time to enjoy the little things. Miserable is the perfect track to follow this one up, with its lush acoustic guitar serving as the staple for the tune. She says, you can't set sail with your anchor down, you aren't happy unless you're miserable. Yes. Contender for a top favorite right here. Kacey Musgraves might not come across as powerful this time, but I don't think that this album is without its stunning moments. From the anthemic Die Fund, the incredible closing duet with country legend Willie Nelson that spans over 7 minutes long, you definitely will not be wasting your time by checking out Pageant Material. For me, this is a 4. 3 takes. Over 80 minutes of footage. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because there was a lot of work that went into this one. Surprisingly more than I thought I was getting myself into. I don't know how many double album reviews I will do in the future, but I hope you enjoyed this one. Hit the like button to show support. Let me know your thoughts on either same trailer, different part, or Pageant Material in the comment section down below, or better yet, let me know some of your favorites from each album. Of course, if there are other albums you'd like to see me tackle, let me know about them. You can click here or here to go to either my vlog channel or the last review that I did, and all of my social media links are down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon, right here on ARTV. Downing an ice cloak. Fuck, I messed up.